Hello, my beautiful friends. I'm Paula Renova, creatrix of the Cardinal Method of Life Connection, and here I am in the Florida sun to talk about the difference between empathy, healing gifts, and psychic abilities, because these are three different things that, if you don't know the difference, can work against you and not for you. And sometimes they get mixed up. So getting that clarity is going to be very important. Okay. So the first one I want to talk about is empathy. We hear about it a lot. And roughly people say that it's knowing what other people are feeling, right? Which is true. But I want you to get more laser beam on this. Understand that there's a physical body sensation when it comes to empathy. And it's usually in your stomach, but it also can bring the energy to your navel. So it's a very visceral energy. And yes, you feel other people's feelings, but this is the catch. This is where this can work against you. And believe me, I didn't know I was a full-blown empath until very recently. I thought I had psychic gifts. Then when I changed careers, I knew that I had the ability to help with healing, and that took training. And just recently I found out about empathy. So I'm like, oh my God, I have to talk about this, right? Because for my identity, it really created a lot of shifts. So what's the catch about empathy? You may think that other people's feelings are your own. So you may make decisions that were not originally from your truth, because your solar plexus, the chakra on the stomach level, is the center of personal power. And if you're an empath, it behaves like a sponge. Ideally, it should behave like a mirror. I talk about this a lot in Cardinal Method courses, especially for professionals. And ultimately, the more you work on yourself, it becomes a pillar, you become a pillar of light, and your chakras are actually emanating light, and you're setting the tone of the environment. But until you know how to master your gifts, you may be like I've been my whole life, okay, until I started working on this. And it's one of the reasons why crystals are so important, to help us align ourselves, because they're aligners of energy. So when you understand that you're an empath and that you feel what other people are feeling because you're absorbing their feelings on a solar plexus level, which is the center of personal power in your body. Not only do you feel their feelings, but if your solar plexus is weak, you cannot tell the difference between your own feelings and someone else's. And if that person's feelings are different from your truth, it's not even that they're manipulating you. Okay, maybe they have a stronger will, and maybe they're not empaths and they're just pursuing their dreams, they're just pursuing their desires, but you're there sponging it up and thinking it's your dream, your desire, and making decisions from energies that have entered your solar plexus without you knowing about it. And now it's all mixed up with your own decisions, your own sense of self, and then you get kind of carried away by other people's will. And then when you realize that's not your truth because you've worked on yourself, or you're unhappy, or maybe, you have symptoms, whatever it is, until you understand that you're an empath and that you can work on it and that you can discern your truth from someone else's and that you can stop absorbing other people's feelings, that awareness will allow you to work with empathy in your own favor, helping others, maybe becoming an energy healing professional, because I changed careers for that reason, right? So that I could help others from a heart level. I did not know that I was also sponging up from the environment on a visceral level, but that's okay. That's our journey, right? So that's empathy. And just observe if you feel depleted in other people's companies, if people who are very close to you have their own way more than you, assert yourself with healthy boundaries. Just food for thought for now, okay? The second thing I want you to observe is if you have healing abilities. Now, I always talk about this because vocabulary is important in the Cardinal Method. The more precise you are and the more eloquent you are, the better your life will be, because your mind, your brain power is being sharpened, and you are also able to discern your reality from someone else's. So I do not like the word healer, okay? I do not use it in the Cardinal Method, because you're not healing anybody when you facilitate healing. You are helping them tap into their own self-healing abilities, because all healing is self-healing. That's the catch here. So it's first of all, it's not so much responsibility on our shoulders, right? Second of all, it allows the person who's receiving the healing to take responsibility for his or her own healing and not ever blame whoever's facilitating, because not only do they delegate their power, but they also demand responsibility that's not even yours. What you do have when you are in a healer career, I don't like that word, like I said, in an energy healing career, or you're a healing professional, you have the ability with the proper training to help them heal themselves. Because at the end of the day, the cells are the biggest healers, and the cells are following the soul. So that's a deeper conversation that I'm not going to bring in here, but I will bring further videos about it. Okay? So if you have healing abilities, you have a huge love center. You have a lot of love in your heart. And that love overflows and can touch someone else and encourage that person to love themselves so that they can love themselves enough to heal themselves. Make sense? So that's healing. But that's sometimes untapped potential. It may emanate from you unconsciously, and maybe people may feel maybe codependent on you, and you don't know why you're such a magnet to people who need help. That could be empathy, and that could be healing abilities. But just know that empathy is on a visceral level, what I call the structure level in the cardinal method. Solar plexus, sacral chakra, mostly, okay? And healing is right here on your heart. All healing comes from love. Going back to health, regaining health is a place of love, comes from a place of love. It depends on self-love more than anything else, okay? And the third gift that I thought was more obvious, at least for me as a person, and I want to know if that's for you too, whichever you identify with most, but sometimes we have two, sometimes we have all three, okay? Psychic gifts, which are a third eye ability. That's when you are not attached emotionally. You are completely disassociated from what's happening, and you very objectively, almost coldly, can see the truth as it is. And you can see in time. Psychic gifts are very connected to the idea of time, past, present, and future. What is the truth? Okay? So feelings on a heart level, emotions, which are much more dense on a solar plexus visceral level, and truth and intellectual abilities on a third eye level. But what happens with psychic gifts is that maybe you don't want to see what's going on. Maybe you do not want the information. You don't want the downloads. You don't want to see through reality, or maybe even invade someone else's space, or see information that's being hidden, that's secret. Maybe you don't want that, but you have that ability. So training your third eye and getting the proper training, if you are a psychic, if you have psychic gifts, can bring a lot of peace of mind. And like I said, instead of that working against you, it can work for you, as long as you have that acknowledged and that you have the proper training. Because our culture tends to be very ruthless and very cruel with psychics, right? And psychics can help the world so much, right? And healing abilities can help the world so much. And empathy as well, because empathy allows you not to judge others and to accurately know what's happening on a visceral level, as long as it doesn't deplete you. So that's why I'm creating this video. I want these three gifts to work for you. Let me know how this resonates, which one you identify with most. And just to wrap it up, I want to suggest 3 crystals for each gift. So for empathy, visceral, solar plexus, your personal power, I suggest the light ring is interfering, but this is golden tiger eye, okay? The master crystal of confidence in the cardinal method. So that's great, and you can place it on your solar plexus for 10 minutes. It's really going to help you stop being a sponge and start becoming at least a mirror until you work on your own light enough so that you can emanate and be a pillar of light and bring light to darkness. But that's not your job right now. Your job right now is just to take care of yourself, right? Know yourself and know how to protect yourself and take care of yourself. For healing abilities, I love that. Rose quartz, cardinal method rose quartz, self-love and love for others, the master crystal of love, Place it on your heart for 10 minutes. I suggest you lie down for this, okay? It's a self-care practice. So the Master Crystal of Love and the Cardinal Method for your heart chakra and your healing abilities. Last but not least, for your third eye, Iolite. Seeing clearly, especially the external world. Okay, that's for your third eye. So you can also let it rest on your forehead for 10 minutes when you lie down. And it's going to be a powerful practice for you. I hope this was clear. I hope it brings wonders to your life, that you can use your gifts for your own benefit and for the benefit of the world, instead of letting them just disrupt your life in whatever way. I hope that's not your case. If it is, there is a solution. If you have any questions, please let me know. Comment here. And if you like this video, please like it. Spread it all around so that we can keep this channel going. Thank you so much for your presence, and I'll see you soon.